Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. On this, what is today, the 5th day of November. We're one day past the trade deadline. A lot of talk about last night. Of course, great show last night. Got some good clips there. Check out the program. Always subscribe, please, folks, to the Real Sports Scope with the K YouTube channel. Got a great show with you for tonight. Going to talk about these college. Football rankings, a few comments on that. Josh Heupel, Vols lost last week to this past Saturday to Oklahoma, and I said, he's looking more and more like a poor man's Lincoln Riley. Got a lot of pushback from that, but I was playing in the program tonight, and Hugh Freeze was fired. I've never seen this many firings, but Hugh Freeze was fired from Auburn. These guys know the business, but I'll talk about that as well. Got Roy Neighbor. I wasn't even going to do a show tonight, but I woke up this morning and I thought, maybe I should have reached out to my neighbor Roy, who's the big Pittsburgh Steeler fan. So Roy's going to come on. He said something about possibly his, I think it was his brother's cousin out of Chicago, going to come on. He said he's going to send his email and whatnot. We can. We can have those guys on for a few minutes here at the second half of the program. They'll come on around 25 minutes after the hour. I'll ask Roy about the Steelers. What's he think about them winning? What does he think about them winning winning that Colts game this past weekend after looking so bad prior to the fact? So stand by. We'll take our first and only break, and I'll hit the ground running here momentarily here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty, then I'm back here live here for a few minutes. Okay, now, so let's start with Hugh Freeze. Listen, if you look at Hugh Freeze's record, I'm looking at Hugh Freeze, the guy who beat Alabama at He beat Alabama when he was at Ole Miss. Very high-ranked team. I want to say pretty close to number one team in the country at one time, folks. I'm looking at that particular guy. That's the guy I'm thinking that Auburn has hired. Now, mind you, that he got in some trouble there. Things started going somewhat south on the field, but he got into an issue using company phone to call escort services in Tampa, Florida. Some came of that, and what that really hurt his reputation because the guy claims to be a person of faith and everything. He's married, whatnot, calling prostitutes. So that's a little bit of history there. I look at that guy as being a good coach. He goes on to Liberty, wins a lot of games there at Liberty. Gets some players drafted, gets a good buzz about himself. And here's his record here at Auburn. It was 15-19 overall, a losing record, 6-16 in the SEC. That is correct. In 2023, 6-7 overall, 5-7 this past 4-5 this year and fired. So 1-5 in the SEC. Here's my thing. If you look back at a guy like Jim Harbaugh, who, remember, he left Michigan after he won a national championship. But let's go back a few years before he got J.J. McCarthy. Big Harbaugh guy. I was for sure he's going to win big. The same guy that brought in Andrew Luck at Stanford. It just, guys are so good such good coaches like Jim Harbaugh. You think, and my mindset was for a guy like Harbaugh, no matter who this guy works with, he's going to win. And they went it through quarterback after quarterback there. I'm talking about at Michigan. And people started complaining. I mean, they're losing. They're getting their butts kicked every year to Ohio State, all the way up to 2020, if you remember, and whatnot. I think that one got canceled. But really getting smoked there by Ohio State. And, they get more physical, but also they find the quarterback. Even though McCarthy didn't throw much, they finally find the quarterback. And of course, we know what happened. They won a national championship, and then he leaves on for that Charger job. That was my biggest issue. I think simply with Auburn, that Hugh Freeze simply did not find the quarterback. They went through a transfer. They went to the athletic kid that played last year, and it still simply did not work out. But this is the league we're in. I guess my point is, when you got a guy that's been there 3 years, could you possibly wait another year or two on a Hugh Freeze to get that quarterback position right, and things suddenly change? You look at a guy like in the NFL, of course, a Shane Steichen, that this guy's about to get fired. I don't think he's going to make it. But he's working with Anthony Richardson out of Florida there. They hadn't have that much experience. Now they get Daniel Jones, fits the system better, much better quarterback, and now he looks like a great coach again. They're sitting up there at a 1 or 2 seed in the NFL. So, and it's the same thing with. You look at Michigan now; they've got Bryce Underwood with an interim coach, and things look stable there at Michigan. And I'm thinking, now, this guy's a number 1 prospect in the country. So I guess my point is, do you give these guys 4 years, 5 years, and yes, not unless they're just getting destroyed? Do you give them a few years to get that? Do you give them a year or two longer than you may have in the past? Because you can't stack the team up. You can't stack the team up the way that the way you could prior to it, because not everybody's in the SEC now. With NIL and transfer portal, you got the talent spread out all over the country. I mean, Indiana is one of the top teams in the country right now. Who would have thought that? I don't think with the NIL and the transfer portal, Indiana is going up to Oregon beating them like that. But they are. But they did. So it's an interesting job. The usual suspects have came as possible candidates for that Auburn job. Lane Kiffin, man, he's been mentioned everywhere. Jimbo Fisher, forgot about Fisher. I'd give him an interview. Former Texas A&M coach, Florida State coach. James Franklin, Oregon State's Kenny Dillingham. Now, that guy's going to get some interviews. And, of course, John Summerall, who's been mentioned with everybody. That's the Tulane coach there that's coaching pretty well. So, interesting, or do you just go young and hungry again? I think they'll get one of these coaches that I mentioned there. We'll see what happens. Okay. Other point, Josh Heupel got a lot of pushback. This is what I put after they lost. We were frustrated with that because it seems like I wasn't really frustrated with the Aguilar interceptions and the turnovers, although they're frustrating to watch it. You're watching that Tennessee-Oklahoma game Saturday night. What I was really frustrated with, the fact that Tennessee has to play almost perfect this year offensively to win games, even at home. Now, we know they have issues on the road. Really, really good offense, timing offenses. There's so much leniency on that offense that they have to play a certain way to win games. I think this guy's still a very good coach. It just seems to be a blind spot that they just cannot figure out there with Josh Heupel. So this is what I put out on the X out. Of course, I posted it on my Facebook account as well here on Saturday night after the game. Very frustrated. I said Tennessee Josh Heupel is a poor man's Lincoln Riley. Quarterback offense is great. Defense is never trustworthy. Fades late in games and late in seasons. I mean, is that not the truth this year? They almost lost to Arkansas, up 17 points, and you've got Aguilar hanging on to the game at the very end. It's a 3-point game at home. Now, this is teams getting blown out by Missouri on the road year before last. So the defense has improved under him. It used to just give up 40 points a game. But at some point, you got to look and say, okay, they have the recruiting budget. They have the highest budget to recruit in the country. They don't have the highest NIL, but they have the highest budget to recruit in the country. Why are you still? Is it something with that? Is it the coordinator? Is it the assistants? What is it that you're doing in recruit? When they played, Georgia last year, because offensively they can play with anybody in the country. They've showed that. I don't want him to be fired. I just talked about patience with Auburn. But after I put that out there, you get guys like this one guy off Facebook said, hey, Tennessee's been in the toilet for 18 years. Why should you, the fans need to be grateful that they got a coach that's winning games? Yes, there is some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. That, hey, they finally beat Alabama. That was awesome. They finally beat Florida again. They're starting to beat Florida home. That's good stuff. And then somebody else said something on the X account. This wasn't at me. This is a random post here. This was a good point. They said, I can't remember who it was. I tried to find it, but the person said, is Josh Heupel turning into the next James Franklin, where the outside world says you need to be grateful for the fact that he's winning you 8, 9, 10 games a year. He got you to playoffs there. And my thing is, and what I said to the guy that said this thing about the 18 years to me, I said, yeah, but are we still not supposed to be, as analysts, fan base, whatever you want to say, media, ask, well, what have you done about this defense? You're right there. You're right there. Look at how your team plays at the end of the season from a defensive side. Look how they look at the end of games. Okay. Why can't you what is it that you need? And this is what somebody in the press conference did ask. What do you think you need? What is this team lacking? Because that's what the fans want to ask. What is this team lacking from a resource standpoint? Why can't you get a 4 or 5 star defensive tackle on this team? What does it take to get that? All right? Because that is exactly what you need. Ole Miss, on the other hand, they beat Georgia last year. They almost beat them this year. But they had I think his name is Mikael Williams, defensive tackle that got drafted in the first round last year to the Arizona Cardinals. So, because they got that push up the middle. Tennessee, no sacks. I mean, Carson Beck, sorry to say Carson Palmer, who's now with the Hurricanes, transferred, didn't even get his jersey dirty against Tennessee. But they got a hold of him at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss won. So that's the issue with Tennessee. Is there some truth to him being like a Lincoln Riley? Lincoln Riley light? Yes. Is his defense been slightly better? Has there been some moderate improvements from Heupel's? Yes. But also Riley went to the playoffs with Oklahoma and got in there. Now he's had some more success also with quarterbacks and Heisman. So technically what I'm saying is really not wrong. If you want to dig deep in the numbers, yeah, Heupel's had some good defensive years. They were pretty good last year, although they got smoked in the Ohio State game. Everybody's did. but that's an issue, and the defensive side of the ball, the lack of physicality. Are you here to win national championships? I don't think there's anything wrong with the fans asking for that. I don't think that's out of the reach, and I'm always going to ask that question. I'm going to offend him. He's going to run away. Well, hey, that's the standard here. These guys are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Brian Kelly, Jimbo Fisher, even Josh, who's still working. They know that the business that they're in, that they can be fired at any time, but they are made enough money to live a lifetime. Their wives know that that it's an unstable. It's really big highs and some big lows. But coaching football for millions of dollars a year, it's not digging ditches. I'll tell you that. So, anyways, I don't think he should be fired, but I think it's an honest question, an assessment, and it's an honest criticism because it's a pattern, and I think that that's something that they need to address, and I think our media should ask him that. So, anyways, as far as the playoff is considered, in general, the first playoff rankings came out last night. It's pretty much with the AP. Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3. Now, A&M, better team than I thought that they looked. I love the fact they have a mobile quarterback. The defense is solid. Went up there, Notre Dame, beat them in Notre Dame. Look like their team. They're going to play Texas at the end of the year. They don't have a lot. So if they lose to Texas at the end of the year, there's still a good chance with no defeats there that they could still play in the SEC championship game, potentially be the favorite to win that one, even over like a Georgia per se. And remember, their coach was a guy that came over from Duke. Okay, brought him over from Duke. So they very well. Now we're going to find out here in a few weeks. But Texas A&M very well may be the best team in the country. Yeah, Ohio State's defense is legit. Indiana, definitely, after going up to Notre, the way they won, it's not the fact that they won off a bunch of lucky plays in Oregon. The way they won in Oregon, the way they dominated Illinois. Like I had Keith Angle on the program here a few weeks ago, talking about is this going to be the biggest game of the season? The Big Ten championship, even before the playoffs start, potentially between if Ohio State don't, spit up a cat ball or Indiana, I don't think they play anybody formidable between now and the end of the season in the Big Ten championship. That could be 1 and 2 in the Big Ten championship. So, anyways, let me check on something, folks. Roy mentioned something about, let's see. Okay, Roy. I'm going to take a quick break here. I'm going to send Roy's friend here, Fred. I think it's his brother. I'm going to send him a link here and see if he can come on, and we're going to talk a little bit of football with my guest here. So stand by, folks. We'll take a break here for a little. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Hello,
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler, on SportsScope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks. I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the
All righty then. I had to throw the little throwback in here. Fred is from Chicago, and I'm not sure if that's Roy's brother or Roy's one of Roy's relatives here. We'll talk a little bit here. I was going to ask Roy first about the Pittsburgh Steelers here. He didn't like me calling the team old. Now, I've got some notes here. He came on back in August, the 21st program. We were talking about, it was on the 20th. Yeah. We were talking about the questions here about the old, the Steelers here, at how old they were, and, they were a pretty old team. And, his friend was saying that, well, he said his lady friend was saying, well, there's nothing really, was he wrong about anything? And I thought that was pretty funny here. Trying to look at my questions to see when I had those questions of those players, which they were older. You got Cameron Hayward, that's 35 years old. Aaron Rodgers is 40-something years old, okay? TJ Watt's, 31, 32 years old. You got a lot of 30-something plus players in there, key players, 40-something plus with this team that probably just needs to be blown up, other than a few players on the offensive line there. And, obviously DK, you still can hold him here for a few years. I think DK Metcalf's like 28 or whatnot. Nice mix there. There's some players there. The tight end Washington's pretty good. And, Chase Brown's not a bad, I think that's his name, that running back they got there. But anyways, yeah, Roy, go ahead and click on that button and we'll bring you right on in. And Fred, he's wanting to bring, I think it's his brother Fred from Chicago. We'll bring him in and I'll ask him some Bears questions here. And we'll kind of just do it on the fly. Ed Terrell was with him, a guy from here at Nashville. Didn't get a chance to make it, but he's got another friend who wants to come on too. So I'm waiting for the guys to come on as we speak, and I'll bring the guys on, and we'll talk about the Steelers. They got a big game this weekend. They got to play at the LA Chargers, and myself and Mad New Yorker, we will have that in the 5 biggest games. You got 2 playoff. If the playoffs started today, playoff bound teams here going to play on Sunday Night Football, and I don't know who to pick right now. It's going to be an injury report type of game. Joe Alt out for the season with this ankle injury there. It's very unfortunate. Now, they did make a trade for Trevor Penning, but that there's pressure constantly. Oh, there goes Fred Long right there. Let me check on Fred. Hey, Fred, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm waiting for Roy now to come up here. Now, Fred Long, are you Roy's brother?
Yeah, that's my big brother right there.
Oh, okay. Here, let me give you a round. Killing some time here. Now I'm waiting for Roy to click on here. Now, you're a big Chicago Bears guy.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So while I'm waiting for him to come on, and I'm glad I got you in there. What'd you think about that win this weekend, man? I had a lot of fantasy points in that game over Cincinnati.
I bet you did. You understand? Hey, look, I'm still over there watching. I'm still watching the highlights right now.
Man.
The Bears, man, they was tripping, man. The city was like up and down. You know, remember, it's Chicago. We have a lot of sports teams, but this is a Bears town. Out of all of the teams, it's definitely
really.
Oh, for sure.
So the Bulls, they've kind of faded out. Now here's Roy here. We'll go ahead and bring neighbor Roy in here. We got Pittsburgh and Chicago. You know, I got a good friend of mine out of Buffalo, area, Niagara area. He's a big Bears fan. Also, you know,
salute to him because his Bills are doing. You know, they pulled that game out against the Chiefs last week.
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, that was real nice. Surprising.
Man, hopefully they're able to get over the hump. Tell your partner that. Let's see if they're gonna finally get over that.
Yeah. John Rostano, he's a big Bears fan. Okay, but you know what? I'll finish up with you, Fred, since you're new to the program. Do they have the right coach there in Chicago? What do you think about Ben Johnson?
Yeah, I think Ben is good, man. He's good for this team. I would say that. You know, he's good for this team. He's a young cat. He's getting his first experience, but it seemed like he don't play around. In the city, we respect that. You know, we come from the Mike Ditka era. You know, and you know, my other guy. You know, he did. You know, he did a lot. Lovie Smith too. You know.
Yeah.
People respect.
Lovie kind of paved the way for the conditioning for a better coach or something. Like he put a more spunk into the team. It started with Lovie, I would say.
Yeah. So I say he's the best person for the job. I'm glad we got him. He'd be on the sideline though, like he finna bust a vessel, like he's
intense, ain't he?
I'm like, bro, calm down a little bit, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? You know, that defensive coordinator, I think his name is Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
Brought him over for the Saints. And what's wrong with the defense, man? He was great with the Saints.
Man, look, you gotta remember this still too. We're probably still leading the league in takeaways.
Okay.
We're going into the game. So although the defense has been we started out strong, but the defense was getting more recognition than the offense and Caleb Williams early in the season. So man, we banged up right now, man. You know, we came out the gate with some of our key defensive players: Edwards, Gordon, Brisker. You know, and then the main guy Johnson,
Jalen Johnson, the cornerback.
He went out like right before the season started, like right after training camp. So
how long he got? Is he out for the season or is this a?
I'm taking it as he out for the season. I haven't heard anything otherwise, but
wow.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
I'm like you guys. I do think that Ben Johnson is the guy there, man, and you guys got a lot of talent. Do you think you may have too many skilled players on this team where there may be a ripple? There may be some kind of conflict. Now, they're all kind of young.
Yeah.
Well, what's your thoughts on that, Fred?
Man, I think it's something we haven't had that we've been yearning for in the city to acquire this type of talent. Yeah. And I forget what they label these position players now. That's not a quarterback, a defensive endman. I forget what they call them. Luxury players, like luxury talent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like
skilled players,
because you're not going to draft like these skilled players high in the draft. You're going to catch them like later in the draft. So I'm glad we got him. Odunze was really good, even though he had no catches. his father need to fall back online. He been on Twitter wilding out like my son and great. I'm like, bro, chill out. He just led the Bears. He lead the Bears in catches, touchdowns, all of this
Oh,
stuff.
I love Odunze. He was having an argument with your son?
No, his father was online arguing just with fans just about, get my son the ball or not, let's get him out of the I'm like, Pops, man, look, I'm a father of an athlete. I understand. We get passionate.
We know how it go, but
I'll give a break, Pops. It'll be all right. So I just say we got some of the best talent in the league, and Ben is trying to package it together. You understand?
Yeah, that's interesting. Those helicopter parents. I know it's a double-edged sword in some ways, but they do get the kids where they need to go. That kind of dedication. But sometimes they get a little overzealous and live vicariously through them. I have not heard. That's good insight there, Fred.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Check that out. Yeah, check that out, brother. Buck, man. Go check that out, man. Give me on the show some more, man. I can tell you a little bit more of the ins and outs. Some of the cultural things that's in sports right now too.
Do you think they should potentially trade one of these players, like maybe a DJ Moore? Because you've got the other guy from the guy from Missouri that's a very good player. He got hurt, the receiver there. Oh God, what's his name?
Not Komet just got. I should know.
That's the other tight end.
Yeah, that's tight end.
It's the receiver. I think it's like a second round pick, but he was really highly sought after. He's hurt right now. But then you got Moore, you got Rome Odunze, and you got this guy.
Yeah,
Luther Burton.
Oh, Burton. Yeah, Burton is good, man. He's a young, fiery talent. He does kickoff returns. He can do a lot. And I think we got weapons. And as it relates to DJ Moore, it seemed like he's taking a step back and a back door to Odunze, which is good, which you want vets to do. You don't use this a lot when you're playing on teams and you're the vet, that incumbent and all of that stuff. And so to be able to watch him hand that off to somebody else is great. So DJ Moore, I think we need him. I think if there was any time they was going to trade him, it should have been just yesterday or whatever during the trade.
Yeah.
Because
you're saying maybe in the future though, possibly, or you think it's okay, just keep it like it is for a minute.
I think keep it like it is. We're gonna need some veterans around this young core, and so and then with DJ Moore, like I said, you'd have got him right during this trade deadline. See, over the next year, now he's locked in for 4 years. He signed this deal right before the beginning of the last season, so you kind of with him, And
he's very consistent, man. I like him.
Yeah, he is. He's good for runs after the catch. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did he get after that? Like 5+ or?
What'd you say, Roy?
The run after the catch. He get about 5 more every time, or?
Yeah, he used to get like up to 10. You know what I mean? When he was featured in the offense. That was what he's been known for since he came from was it Carolina?
Charlotte,
Well,
Carolina.
that's good if you get a 5+ after each catch, though. That's 10 is immaculate.
Smaller receiver too, so he goes with he got that grit in him. That's that Chicago grit we love.
I love him. That was a
great
sir.
Yes, sir.
So Roy calls me. I wanted to bring Roy on the program this morning, but I thought maybe this is too short a notice. I'll just let it go and not do a show today. I'll probably just do a replay. So Roy calls me at like 10 something. Hey man, what are you dogging out my Steelers for? I knew you would be in a good mood after they beat the Colts last week and redeemed themselves from that god awful Green Bay Packer loss. What are your thoughts on that Colts win, Roy? You got to still be feeling like you're on cloud nine. I can kind of tell in your tone of your voice.
Yeah. So we came in. I came in personally believing that we was going to get that game. It was a must-win, 7-1 team. They probably, it's that when they call this the witching hour, when there's wins become losses and losses become wins. That's my favorite. That's my favorite stuff. So we have an AR.
Yeah.
And he know when to pull the trigger. As soon as a receiver gets open, the line is protecting him enough to move around. And I believe they got a nice communication with the younger fellas, even though we still have older people, but they mixing in. If they protect him like they've been protecting him, we'll keep shooting with the AR.
I wanted to say
You
this.
know we ain't got no love for him in Chicago. Y'all know that, right?
Oh yeah. That's the most hated. Yeah. He taunts the Bears for years as a Packer.
Oh,
Got no love.
well, yeah. I get it.
I ain't saying he ain't cold though. He cold for sure.
But I think him. Because everyone they put Aaron Rodgers down. They said the AR was gonna throw more interceptions, do this, do that, with a lot of negativity. But we winning in the AFC. Our team is winning.
Yeah.
We're in the lead, I should say, and we to get that big win over the Colts, that was a big plus for improvement. And everyone was saying they put the Steelers defense on the back of a milk carton. Like, where is it? It's missing. I didn't like that, but we redeemed ourselves and we back so far.
Yeah, so they were 30th in total defense. They're like 14th against the run. They're the highest paid defense in the NFL. Now, Aaron Rodgers mentioned in the Green Bay game, Roy, that he had to use the solid snap count at home. The home fans were selling their team. They're selling their tickets to Packer fans because they're losing faith in the team. Like I said, they're 30th in defense. There's some sense with the older players. Cameron Hayward's 35, Rodgers 41. TJ Watt's 31, 32. Can get banged up at that age, the way physical he is. What's your thoughts? I guess the sense to the fans is they're going to fall apart at some point. This whole season is going to be over with. What's your sense of that? Having used a solid snap count at home with the Steelers.
Well,
what's your thoughts about that?
I'm lost with it all. You know, I'm just going off of the performance, the get back. You know, they had to redeem themselves. I'm just keeping all the positives on it. Yeah. I think they found some type of connection and chemistry. It's going to be more rougher games, and those guys were, not to take away from what the Steelers did, but those coaches was probably tired a little bit. You know, 7-1 on the win, no losses. It was about time for a loss, and it was about time for us to have a win. Now we just have to, continue that with the defense, because Aaron Rodgers will give us the points. We just got to stay consistent with that defense.
Yeah, they got it. They can't make mistakes. And I was looking at some of the stat line in that game, and I'm glad the Steelers won. The league is better when the Steelers are playing well,
Yeah.
But they got outgained in that yards by 140 yards to the Colts. They called 6 turnovers.
To
the Colts. Do you think this can be sustainable, Roy, or do you think in the back of your mind, I don't know if this is going to be legit or not, man?
Well, I think it's there. Like you said, that age might kick in because we have to play as the highest paid defense. We have to play that way. So it's going to cause some exhaustion and stuff like that. But, sometimes we got to get that sideline working too and, give people proper rest and stuff. So, and I think the veteran players should also coach and nourish the younger players that's going to come in and take their place and give them a little rest and, take up what they left off at, I'm just confused about it as well, but I believe in them a little bit. They just look good, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, my prediction in the preseason was the Ravens would probably win this division. The Steelers would start off strong, and then they would fade. The Ravens would win this division. They're 2 games back right now.
Yeah.
They're 3-5. Your Steelers are 5-3. Are they going to catch your Steelers? Or your Steelers, are they going to still win in the North?
Yes, because you know what you said about the Bears with the Baltimore Ravens. They got the same issue but they have an issue with too many star players, and I think they have a bumping at times where they fell apart a little bit, and then when they come through, they came through on somebody that probably was scattered themselves. So they got them a win in, but I think if they don't mend the talents that they got, because everybody is no I in team. So I see a lot going on with the Ravens, and they look more scattered to me than together, organized from the last games I've seen. So I think we'll hold them down too.
Well,
Fred, what do you think about that?
They beat my Bears the week before, which we mad as hell about in the city, man. Without
Yeah, I know. And those are, like Fred, that's my team. The Bears is my home team.
I know this.
So, yeah, that's my home team. So if it happens, it happens. If it don't happen, it's a bitter with a sweet with me when it comes to the Bears and the Steelers, which I predict gonna be in the Super Bowl.
That'd be good. That'd be a high rate. Now I'm out of Nashville. We want to see the Ravens lose, but the Ravens are a good team, man. They're deep, and they had a lot of injuries, but those guys have all came back.
See, that's that. Them early wins, it'll get to you.
Who's your team, Brother Butler?
Well, I follow the Titans, who did a total disaster now.
Don't do it.
Well, I just go on whoever my predictions are since they got a program. I was talking to some guys here on the program last week or so, and my point about the Titans is if she don't go out, I'm talking about Amy Adams Strunk, the owner. There was a report this week that she doesn't want to trade with the Patriots because she has some kind of issue with Mike Vrabel. Now, that's petty because you're trying to – what's good for the team is get your emotions out of the game here. But my thing is, I said this a couple of weeks ago when she fired Brian Callahan, if she don't go after a guy like a Mike McCarthy or somebody, instead of one of these coordinators that don't have any experience like a Brian Callahan, she needs to sell the team. They're building a new dome down here, Fred.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And the taxpayers.
Hey, Rob, Mr. Butler, is that a dome closed or it's gonna be tracked? Is it just what is it, a dome or?
I think it's just a dome. Hopefully, it'll be a retractable, which you don't see teams winning a lot of dynasties with that are dome teams. They're usually presented to be soft there on the road. So it's all about getting Super Bowls and not World Series.
You get entertainment. Yeah, you get Beyonce out there. You understand?
Right. It's a big music town down here, Fred. So
I know this. And the city is working on the same thing in Chicago.
Are y'all going to get a dome in Chicago?
Then there's been the Bears purchased property out in Arlington Heights, which is northwest of Chicago downtown, which is right by O'Hare Airport. So it's clear for somebody to get. But we're from Chicago, man. The Bears belong in the nitty gritty, right off the street.
We're nitty gritty.
You want to have that edge, don't you, Fred?
When it's 15 degrees, so they put a proposal to upgrade the existing land, but it's owned by the Park District. Well, believe it or not, Soldier Field is just short of a national landmark. Yeah. So it's not like privately owned. It's put on the city of Chicago Park District land, right off the Lake of Chicago. So it ain't like they can just revamp it the way that they want to, because now you're negotiating, and you got to remember this is Chicago. You understand? So politics.
So this could take a minute, or it could totally fall apart. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So they've been pushing it and trying to get. Initially, I think the owners, the new CEO is, I think, Kevin Warren. I forget his name. Right now, it's leaving me.
Because the lady died, didn't she?
McCaskey. It's still in the family, though. It's still in its own.
Okay. Are they going to sell the Bears, Fred? Do you think?
They said. I think it's. I would. If you'd have asked me this pre-pandemic, I would say they'd never sell the Bears, the family. I think it's more likely at some point. There's been conversations about it in the last year or two, for sure. Now, those are typically, private conversations, and but whenever there's a little smoke, I say it's got to be fire. but there's some smoke
Yeah.
around. You understand? Yeah.
That would be an
Mr.
interesting.
Butler, not to interrupt you, just before this, a quick thought. When we're looking at the speaking of the Titans,
Yeah.
although they lost again, but I saw a difference in the score.
Yeah.
They did score more than usual, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
That's a plus. But now they work on their defense, and I think if they take that up a notch, they'll be more compatible because they are some big players. They something to reckon with, but they just got to get more solid ground. Just throwing that out there, they did score a little higher than normal.
Yeah, I like Cam Ward. I think that he's really working on that back shoulder pass. Like a lot of young quarterbacks, you guys see this, getting a little greedy with the deep ball instead of the check down. Almost all quarterbacks, especially young ones, like to do that. But I do like his pocket presence. I do think they need an offensive-minded head coach there with some experience, particularly because the Titans are such disarray right now. Let me ask you guys a personal question. This is like a poll I'm taking here. I like John Gruden. I think he's a great coach. He got a little crazy there at Tampa at the end. He got a little quarterback crazy. But I like what he was doing with the Raiders there before all this stuff came out about these emails. You know, he got fired or he got pushed out of the Raiders essentially for saying in an email to I think it was the general manager of the Washington then Redskins, a private email. Somehow this leaked out during the Redskins investigation, and he said something in regards to what was this guy's name? I think he was over the player representative for the unions, black guy. Said he had big lips in the email. Now,
Wow.
it's, hey, that seems offensive, racist, and everything. Now, Warren Sapp has come out, defended him, said, I like the guy. I'm down with him. Now, Keyshawn Johnson, he's a black guy, of course. They never got along. We saw their episodes on the sideline, but Keyshawn said, I don't like the guy. I told you he's a bad guy. What do you guys think about? Would you want to hire John Gruden based on that? What are your guys' opinion on that? He's wanting to get back into coaching. He's suing the league and everything. So what do you guys think? Is it too much? Would you play for him? I guess my question is, would you forgive him? Would you play for him? Or you think, man, this guy's a racist piece of crap. I don't want to, or personal email.
Well, from Chicago.
Yeah.
We hear stuff like that a lot. But we kind of capitalize on it some kind of way.
Okay.
Like if we play for you, we'll have you saying something different.
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean? We'll have you complimenting us versus that little stuff. It's a psychological warfare thing from us being from Chicago. We nitty gritty. Words don't really do it,
Yeah.
It motivates us, but it ain't gonna tear us down. So
okay.
Yeah,
what do you think,
probably would. What you think, Fred?
Yeah, I was going to, I call him Chucky. That's how we know Brother Gruden is Chucky. He's officially Chucky. And I got a Chucky down in the back if I come on next time.
Yeah.
You call him Chucky, huh?
Because he always had that face. Right? They used to call him Chucky.
Yeah.
So that's for one thing. He's always been the character. Two, I think he's chasing the ghost of John Madden, and it's not going to happen for him. That's two. And that's why he went off into the broadcast, and he got that big check. I think it was from ESPN, and he was just doing the quarterback.
It's very similar upbringing than John Madden, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I think he's chasing that ghost. And then in terms of coaching, it's almost a Bill Belichick effect. It might just be over with for you for that. Just go do something else. Become an owner. Become a GM, a president, where you can still be close to the game. You don't necessarily have to be.
You think his coaching days are behind him, particularly, perhaps, Fred?
Yeah, because, I would say this. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy get hired by Tennessee or anyone. Yeah, he can get hired. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I am saying, though, that there is a new generation of players that are, or just in general, that like Roy said, we come from this city and other, tough cities, like Philly and New York, where it's just gritty, and we can kind of get past that all of this, the white noise type stuff, and it's really good because you step to the coach. You understand?
Yeah.
Just like Keyshawn did. Give me the damn ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think he might can get past that threshold with this era of players because folks are really concerned about other things in their lives sometimes, especially when you make that type of money and you got the endorsements that you don't really have to be in the fray of this kind of social commentary and
That's interesting, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be just take a poll in the locker room, a private poll, like a little vote thing. Would you want to play for John Gruden? Do all the players on the roster, and if it's too even or too lopsided, or if it's like 52 players say they'll play for him and one doesn't, or if it's the other way around, you definitely don't want to hire him.
And Butler, that's not happening. You going you going at best. You going to maybe 3 players at best. Conversations in onboarding personnel or front office people.
Well, I know they wouldn't do it, but that would be, and that's why I think he might not get a gig, but it's food for thought because
guy did. He should get a gig. Well, let me ask you: do you think he should be in the NFL? Why you taking the poll? You want him out? You want him in? You want the fence?
Well, I think I would forgive him because my whole point about that is, do you want to publish everybody's text messages and emails and say, did you offend some race, religion, nationality, women? Okay, so let's get everybody that's screwed up in there. It just feels wrong the way the NFL went about this. That was a private email. Now, I wouldn't have said that myself, but do you want to push a guy out for that? I mean, it's not like he was betting on games. This is not a P. Rose situation. I
would beg the question that, we know this with this. We all got Monday, what they call it, the Monday quarterback. We got
Monday morning quarterback.
Right. So we got hindsight. Just think about it now. We know that happened.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure there's a reason why that happened. And that just wasn't something that was hearsay, like something probably to his doing in these offices and business. You understand why they go after him and not other? It's a reason for that.
Yeah. So, there's probably more to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, we know it's other people out here that, and look at the guy from Sterling who was on the Clippers.
Sterling. Yeah, that was that he was really, going. You could tell he was just straight up racist guy. And,
I'm telling you, it's owners like that.
Yeah.
We don't hear about it. You understand?
Right.
It's coaches like that. We just don't hear about it. So I think for them,
would you play for him, Fred? Would you play for John Gruden?
Yeah.
So you said you would because y'all from a different era.
Yeah. The only
depends on what we got going with the chemistry of the rest of the team. Because it won't be about him at the time. We'll go by that. But if we connect things,
y'all,
if
who you working with,
I was a star wide receiver. That's my favorite position. The one I used to play in on safety. Wide receiver. If I was Jalen, what's my guy from Minnesota, Jeffries? Not Jeffries.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, right? If I was him in Minnesota, and they said they're gonna bring in John Gruden, and I'd be like, yo, bro, I gotta have a conversation with this brother before we even talk about onboarding anybody. Just to check his temperature. You understand? Because we might not get the type of what you bring to a locker room.
The organization,
You might bring, the media with you. Is our team prepared for that? Do we have a locker room?
You're saying it may bring a lot of distraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the good side is you can get all of that good brain knowledge and acumen that he has too. So then it's like, okay, how do you balance those two things out?
Right.
He's in his 60s, but that's a good point, though. That's a good point, man. I was just thinking about that. I wanted to ask you guys about that. So really, it'd probably be Mike McCarthy would be my favorite for them to go after. One with this, first win the Cowboys had on the road in 30 years in the playoffs. You know,
Mm.
he did a lot with less when you got Jerry Jones,
Mm.
doing crazy stuff like he does all the time. But
Well, you want to know what's even crazier, which is around, and it relates, but it doesn't. My favorite sport is basketball for sure.
yeah,
That's just my favorite sport. Bulls my favorite team.
Yeah.
Bears right there too. It's the John Gruden thing is the Ja Morant conversation right now, right?
wow, yeah,
Would you take Ja Morant?
Yeah.
I got a text from my LBs, those the Long Boys, Long
Yeah.
Brothers from Chicago. That's all our brothers, Roy. We all we
Yeah.
call them LBs, the Long Brothers, right? So we got a group text. They was just like, well, they are saying Ja Morant too, because he's on the trade block now officially.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know this.
he got suspended for saying that he don't like the way the coaches are using him.
Yeah, but he has look at this. I'm saying, look at his last 18 to 24 months.
Yeah,
Just him, not his play, behaviorally. Just look at that
right.
last 18 to 24 months, because his talent is his talent. We already know that.
Would you like to see
Yeah.
him become a Bull?
I don't know, man. I would take him.
Yeah,
I would
You
take him.
take him?
I would
Yeah.
take him. I'm like, who for? I like Josh Giddey right now. He's better than Josh Giddey, but Josh Giddey,
Yeah. Giddy's hot, but yeah, I think he's got a high ceiling, Morant.
yeah, Morant,
He'd be great in Minnesota. I know that's your right.
Yeah.
Well, they play in the West technically.
yeah. I like John
Yeah.
Morant. He would be good on the Bulls, but even for him, they don't get him right and right off the
They'll
tee.
get him right in Chicago. They ain't gonna do all that.
Well, Miami. Somebody mentioned Miami on the internet. I think it was Perkins mentioned.
Yeah, because Pat Riley and them, they ain't playing. They ain't for none of that. So his organizations that have that type of coaching. And then, for me, he would just be like chasing the Derrick Rose too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that about Morant. I mean, he kind of went through some things, and it seems like he's just not gelling with this coaching staff, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's still him or not.
It could be the staff, and I think it's a lot of things outside of that team. I think it's he felt shunned by the NBA and Adam Silver for the gun gestures, even post him being suspended. And
he did get suspended. Yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, you can't even do this after 3 now. So it's just, and
that's a little much. I don't think they should have done that.
Yeah,
that's
I don't need.
Yeah.
This goes back to folks who just want to. You see this a lot, not just with players, but just in life. Folks just want to do stuff just to be antagonists and just buck system.
Yeah.
Not even necessary. You almost put stuff at risk.
Overly politically correct. It just it's gotten
like,
to it. It's
like
gotten to a high. Yeah.
And so, your boy John Gruden don't have that issue. I tell you.
No, I don't. I don't think he does. But I've been watching him on doing the stuff with Barstool and everything, breaking down film. He's 62, but he looks like he's about 50 something.
Yeah, he got we call that
young energy.
Yeah, well, no. We call that the Schwarzenegger effect, where you just look plastic. You just look plastic for a long time. You got ripped out. You just look plastic, man. Like for real, face look plastic. It's just
He looks the same as he did 20 years. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and he got the energy. I like his energy. He's a fire. I can tell that's your guy, man. Okay, all right.
No. I mean, he did. I've got some criticisms of his coaching. I mean, he's one of those guys where he likes one thing about a quarterback, then you'll see another quarterback, and he'll jump to that other quarterback. He's kind of at the end. He had a little ADD with the quarterbacks at Tampa. Yeah. He was just turning it around, and with the Raiders, with all that noise going on, they had a player that ran a woman over and burned up. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He was a former first round pick.
Yeah.
That same season, and they were still winning games, and they made the playoffs that year with their special teams coach.
Yeah.
But that guy had to cut him. I think his name was Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs, first round pick, really good receiver. He's doing 125 miles an hour, Roy, and ran a woman over. Yeah, he lost control of the Corvette and the car burned a woman up and her dog. It was a terrible tragedy. So they had to cut him. Then they had to cut another player for threatening the guy with a gun, but he had a lot of issues too. He was another. That's all that happened in the same year. And then this stuff with these emails came out, and then so he has to walk out on. He has to resign. Then he sued. So then they take their special teams coach, and then they get to the playoffs with that special teams coach. And I thought they were just turning. He was in like year 3, and I don't know if he would ever caught that magic he did in '98, going up to 2001, where they got with Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
But I just think, man, you hate to see a guy get a kind of the raw deal like that. But like I said, maybe if there's more to it.
Well, look, check this out, fella. Check this out too. I equate it to a little bit too, and it's not just him; it's a lot of folks. Look at Troy Aikman and his criticism and what he was doing intentionally, and it was obvious on Monday Night Football against Caleb Williams. It was.
I heard about. What's your take on that?
Terrible, man. You understand? Aikman, you can see it. He wasn't. You could say he was definitely biased for a lot of different reasons. It was just a lot going on, and he's supposed to be the Troy Aikman of the America's football team, and now he's up in these broadcast booths and all of that, and just.
Was he mad because he didn't meet up with him?
I think it was a little bit of that, and this is what I'm saying.
Because he didn't meet up with him pregame or something.
Yeah, they were supposed. The quarterbacks after practice, we have media availability, and especially for the big featured games on Monday Night Football, you meet with the broadcasters too. That's why people think Tom Brady is a conflict of interest, being the owner of the Raiders, and you meet with quarterbacks before, and so I just say it's a lot of these systematic things that are in place that is biased. It's not. It doesn't have. It doesn't come with an arbiter or an arbitrary, person or personality or system that can. But things just saying fair, but I ain't saying across the league, but there are sprinkles and remnants of that type of behavior in all
what
elements.
Do you think his issue is with Caleb Williams?
I think his issue is with Caleb, like some people, his personality, his way of life. He paints his nails. People in Chicago talk about that. Is he part of the LGBT community quietly?
Right.
So all of that is a thing just publicly, and so you can almost that nobody's exempt from that, hearing that.
Right.
So when you might see it or engage with it, i.e. Aikman, you understand? And not only did you that, you ain't meet with me, Mr. Troy Aikman.
Right. There was a
I feel you.
You see what I'm saying, Roy?
Yeah. I feel you.
I'm telling you, I promise you. And that's why I say Gruden and a lot of these folks, they're in spaces that they get memorialized, you understand, for past accomplishments, which they should. Yeah. I think sometimes it just go, especially when you're in the sport too, with that tag in the Hall of Fame and you're in it. It's just, sometimes it's hard to restrain from those types of things and sharing that these personal things. It's gonna come out in some form. You ain't gonna be able to call a game fairly. It'll slip up at some point.
Yeah, he's but I don't think he does that. And if he does, I haven't seen it in the NFL. Have you? With the whole paint and
I ain't seen a lot, but there was an example though that those things happening, and it's in real time. It wasn't like that was 3 years ago. That was 2-3 weeks ago. And
I just thought maybe he probably thought he was criticizing, but he's a pretty hard critic. That's why he's got that big job,
Yeah, it was on First Take and everything, so it wasn't just this one-sided. We're on here on the sports, the real sports group, and just saying it here. No, this was on national news.
Yeah.
It wasn't no. So.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was serious.
They put that out there.
Yeah, no, he did, and Caleb addressed it.
He said something like, I forgot to call him, or something came up or something.
He said that was after my workout. I was supposed to meet him at a certain time, and then so it went over or whatever. I called him afterwards. He ain't answered. Man, I'm Aikman.
That's.
I think maybe that. Yeah, I think he handled it well. Caleb did.
Yeah, I think that was on Caleb too, and so that's part of his personality. And that's what we're still trying to figure him out here in Chicago too. because he
It
got a
seems
lot.
like they're getting it figured out, though. You know,
Yeah,
it's
and
been bumpy with him and Ben Johnson, but it seems like they're getting it.
yeah, Ben just ain't gonna play with him. So he ain't gonna be like Eberflus last year. These
Yeah.
guys floating around the topic and all this, you know. Okay, man, you okay?
Yeah, he don't hit him. He don't use the kid gloves.
Yeah, oh
You
no.
guys got anything, Fred? You've been great, man. Shoot,
think
yeah.
so?
Roy's been talking you up for a minute.
You think
Yeah.
so? I don't know, man. I just be talking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got plenty more. Mr. Brother Butler right here. Fred, personally, I told him all the time, I've been knowing him for years, that Mr. Butler got the Howard Cosell type of voice.
Yeah, you do. You got
But
that.
he got that thing, right?
You got. And I was gonna ask him that because I know when it has we call it sauce, but it's got it got some flavor to it. You can tell it's country.
Yeah.
It comes from
Yeah.
And so when I'm out, people like, damn, I don't know if I have it either. But they like, man, you talk like Chicago. Or that sound. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
you got the sound. Mr. Butler got the sound. You know, I've been telling him Howard Cosell, the power of that in his voice. So yeah.
Brother Butler Cosell.
Yeah.
Virginia Commonwealth. Who would have thought they would have got into the Final Four?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that right there.
Can you imagine him talking about the Final Four? Who would have thought
Man.
the Commonwealth?
Well, thank
I
y'all,
didn't know that.
man. I appreciate y'all having me on. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You guys
Fred.
have been great. For a few minutes over, Fred Long from Chicago, Ray from Nashville, but a big Pittsburgh fan. Appreciate
Yes,
it,
sir.
guys. Hold on, we'll do a little sound off here. Bring it big, baby. I appreciate it. We'll
Yes,
have a
sir.
round of applause.
On the
Thanks
next
again,
one.
guys. And I'll send you emails of copies of just our interview here, guys.
Yes, sir. That'll be great,
All right.
Mr. Butler. All right.
Y'all have a good night, man. See you, buddy.
You too.
All right. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. We will have that game. Myself and the Mad New Yorker will be breaking down the Chargers and the Steelers. That'd be one of the 5 biggest games of the week. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, here on The Real Sports.